Good morning, friends. Today, I actually got a phone call, and I think that this conversation I had could be valuable to discuss with you all. Before we get into that, though, I want to know below, have you ever had a contractor come in and tell you exactly what's going on? And when they did they give you options? Did they just tell you, hey, it's going to be $6,000 to replace it? Or we could do this, here's the risks. We could do that, here's the risks. And then ultimately, here's the most expensive option. Here's what we're going to do. Let me know below. I'm curious how many contractors out there are doing that sort of thing. So what happened? Well, I got the call that the guy was having a backup in his house. He didn't know what was going on. The basement toilet was bubbling up and sewage was everywhere. It was disgusting. It was a problem, right? We all know that clogs happen. We all know that when it does happen, you're not really going to have a good time, because usually when that clog happens, guess what's coming back to your house? All that nasty poo water. What we ended up having done was the line was snaked out. So once you snake the line out, this is where the valuable conversation comes from, is you got to figure out, why did it clog in the first place? So I advocate all the time, if you were going to send a snake through your line to dislodge whatever's stuck, or if you're going to jet it, you always need to have a camera go right back behind it to, one, verify that they actually clean the line if you're jetting, and two, to figure out why on earth did it clog in the first place. If you're flushing flushable wipes, that's on you, right? Same thing with feminine products, plastic cigarette butts, all those sorts of things. If you're putting that stuff down there, that's on you, that you're causing yourself some headaches. But let's just say that you're not doing that. You're doing the normal thing. Human waste, toilet paper, and that's it. Sometimes clogs can happen. Now, a sewer line is supposed to have pitch to it, so that way when you flush the toilet, all of the stuff is going to go down the drain and into your septic system or your sewer line. By sewer line, I mean the actual sewer in the main road, not just your particular pipe. As the water is going, it should take everything with it. And sometimes, if there's separation, so like those pipes, they have to be joined together. You can't have a 100-foot run of just one continuous piece. They're going to have sections, so that way, one, it can be transported, and two, it can be easily installed. So they have sections and joints. Typically with PVC, it's going to be solvent glued together. Sometimes with cast iron, it'll be lead and oakum. Sometimes with terracotta pipe, it might not be joined with anything. It's just the bell shape and the pipe just stuck into it, and they call it a day. Whenever you have separations, now you're giving a ledge or a lip or some kind of thing for the nasty water to hit. If you have terracotta lines, for example, terracotta lines are always separated, so the pipes will kind of bounce up and down as it's going. Usually in the middle, it'll be smooth, but on the edges or the top, you might get some weird little lips or something about the width of your thumb that can catch something as it's going by. Cast iron pipe, as it ages, it'll kind of start doing what's called pitting. It'll kind of start to shrink in on itself, so you're going to lose the flow capacity because the pipe has gotten smaller. PVC pipe, let's just say they didn't deburr it, the little tiny little plastic things when you cut the pipe. If they didn't deburr it, didn't get rid of those little bits, sometimes they can catch some toilet paper. And all it takes is one to get stuck, and then now you have a problem. We know that if you're going to snake the line, you have a problem, right? Obvious, you have a clog. So once you dislodge whatever's there, by sending the camera in, that's going to allow you to see what happened. The most common defect I find is going to be flushable wipes, but you want to see what's going on. And this helps you as a homeowner, so that way you know where the issue is, because most cameras nowadays will have some location capability, right? The one that I use is rigid. That one I can get you pretty darn close to exactly where it is, and it'll know how deep it is. So most of these cameras will have a locating device or some kind of service to it. So you'll be able to figure out where the problem is. If you see that the pipe's got a crack, a separation, maybe you got roots, maybe you got something to that effect going on, you can address exactly where the problem is. Or you have the conversation to figure out, maybe you do nothing. Right? Now, in this particular circumstance, this guy called in, we had the clog, we got the clog dealt with. You send the camera through, and you find that there are a ton of roots. Now, this guy's house was confusing because the sewer was out front, but his went out the back. We're thinking, oh, maybe he's still on septic system. Let's see what's going on. Ran the camera through, it actually goes out the back of the house to the left, and it goes down to a commercial district area. Weird, but not uncommon, because I guess what happened is the entire community cut through his side yard to go down the hill. I've seen it. It makes sense. Sometimes it does. Sometimes they do some weird stuff like that just for the way that the hills are working and the way that the public municipal's got to get the water or the sewer line to go. We run the camera, we locate the roots. As I'm walking around, I start to notice that there is a privacy fence of trees. This is why it's very important to know where your utilities are whenever you plant stuff, build stuff, because what happened was, I guess 15, 20 years ago, he decided to put up this row of hedges or trees, pine trees, whatever they are. They're giant green things up in the air that make it hard to see into his backyard. So he had put these things in, and obviously, as plants do, they grow. And unfortunately for this guy, he had terracotta pipes. With the terracotta pipe, it's going to have nothing to seal it up. They're supposed to have put concrete in there, but I never did that. It was always just kind of stuck together and you hope for the best. So he put these trees, he has terracotta pipe. Of course, he's going to have root intrusion. So now the conversation comes down to well, you can snake it out. That's your cheap option, but you're still going to keep having the problem with the clog. You can remove the trees and replace the pipe. Or you remove the trees, replace only that section of pipe. Now, my argument is usually if you're going to fix a sewer line, you should just do the whole stretch, right? To me, there's no sense in let's fix a little here, fix a little there, and leave the ugly pipe in between. The reason why is you're going to run into problems again. It's easier to fix it right the first time than it is to come back. A majority of your expense is paying for the machine to be on site. So when it comes to like a sewer line going to a septic tank, let's just say it's 15 foot from the house. That might cost you $2,000 to do the full thing. To only replace a foot or two, it might cost you $1,500. It's absurd. Just do the whole thing. Now, when it comes to like public municipals, so if it's underneath of a driveway, asphalt, a sidewalk, you might run into more expensive parts because now you're tearing up concrete, you're putting it back, maybe you're having to shut off a lane in the road. It can create a whole lot of extra headaches on public, but it's a good idea if you're going to fight with it once, you may as well do all of it at once so that we don't have to do it again. That's my opinion, though. In the comments below, though, leave me your sewer line stories. Do you have any weird things that have happened to you? Let me know. I love to have these conversations. As usual, I have videos posted every day on the World of Well and Septic. If you enjoy this style of content, hit that like button and hit subscribe. Till next time, guys.